Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on KXAN Live. I'm your anchor, Esmeralda Zamora, and with me today is our KXAN's Sally Hernandez. Sally, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here with us. Today we're going to be talking about a really important topic and something you've been covering for quite a while now, and that is the fentanyl crisis here in Texas and all across of America as well. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you have been covering so far?
Yes, so we have two specials that we've done. The first one was concentrating on just letting parents know that fentanyl exists and how deadly it is. And then this special that's going to air very soon is about solutions to fighting fentanyl and helping to end the crisis and letting people know that it's still out there. We've traveled the country talking to parents who have lost their loved ones, and there was no shortage of parents that were willing to tell their story.
No, and this is a really tough topic to talk about, especially as a parent who has lost their child to the fentanyl crisis. You've talked to, like you mentioned, a lot of parents. Share with us some of the stories that you've come across.
You're seeing video of the Epsteins. We traveled over to Portland, Oregon to talk to them. The Epsteins lost their son, Cal. He was home for Christmas vacation, and he was looking for a pill to help with anxiety. It was around the pandemic time, and he got what he thought was a pill that was going to help with anxiety, but it was laced with fentanyl, and it's something that the Epsteins had never heard of until they found out that's exactly what killed their son.
We do have that package or that story, and I would like to play it for everyone. Right now, let's listen in.
On winter break from the University of Hawaii, Cal Epstein was finally back home in Portland. And what was supposed to be a month-long stay lasted only 2 days.
We found him unresponsive in his bed. Jennifer and I, Jennifer called 911 and I started CPR.
Jennifer showed first responders something she found in Cal's room.
So Jennifer showed him the bag, and he said, those pills look like oxycodone, but they're probably fentanyl. And if you're the praying type of people, you should start praying.
Cal died from a drug the Epsteins had never heard of until it killed their son.
He was trusting of somebody, random person he met on Snapchat.
But he wasn't trying to take one pill and die.
No, we definitely know that, and we know that he wasn't trying to get fentanyl either.
Jennifer and John learned that social media was the new open-air drug market for fake pain pills and found they weren't alone in their pain.
Charlie died. Like, Charlie died. What are you talking about? Charlie died. He died from pills.
In a race to reach young people on social media before drug dealers.
There's nothing Percocet about the Percocet Charlie took. It was counterfeit, completely fake.
Ed and Mary Turnin of California started Song for Charlie as a way to talk to other parents about fentanyl. It was after their own loss.
Charlie did not die from an overdose. Charlie was poisoned. We
got connected with Ed and Mary, and our first meeting with them was just grieving parents, sharing stories, and they started to tell us a little bit about what they knew.
Through shared grief, the families created the new Drug Talk.
It has everything from videos and scripts that parents can follow to encourage conversations. It has resources that schools could use or parents could use.
It is California's first-of-a-kind platform to educate parents about fentanyl's deadly grip. The Epsteins successfully pushed lawmakers in Oregon to do the same thing and require a fentanyl awareness course in all schools.
Well, I think it would be fantastic if every middle school and high school in the country were teaching about these same things to all their students every year. The fact of the matter is that that education and curriculum is controlled locally. And so it needs to be a decision at either the school board level and sometimes the state level like we have in Oregon.
Research from Song for Charlie shows fentanyl awareness has a long way to go.
Just less than half of teenagers still don't know about fentanyl in counterfeit pills, and less than that know how to recognize an overdose or what is Narcan or how to use it.
There is hope. Progress is being made. Numbers from the Centers for Disease Control show fentanyl deaths have been dropping after hitting a peak in 2023. The Epsteins believe sharing Cal's story is having an impact, even if it comes with conflicting emotions.
I'm definitely happy that that's happening. I worry that people will believe that this problem is solved or on the way to being solved, and less focus will be on it. So I hope that doesn't happen. And it hurts to know that it's going down and my kid's not coming back. He'd be embarrassed that his mistake is so public, but I know that he would share this to save his friends.
I really like what you said there when you said that the fentanyl, the fight for fentanyl education has a long way to go, and that's exactly what these parents are working to do. You also spoke with another family here locally from Texas who is fighting this same battle. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So with the Epsteins, whenever they took it to their school board, they got overwhelming support to make sure that there's education at the level of public schools on fentanyl. And then they got it passed through the legislature, supportive. Some families are not as supported here, like Stefanie Roe. Stefanie Roe is from Texas, and she said that she is the one who helped get Tucker's Law passed. There they are. Tucker's Law, her son died also of fentanyl, and she created an organization here, Texans Against Fentanyl, and they wanted as well fentanyl education, and it was passed at the legislature. But surprisingly, she had to go back to the Capitol.
And that was recent, right?
It was recent. Just this week, too. She's also fighting for fentanyl strips, and that was a discussion at the Capitol as well.
What is the update on that?
So Stefanie is back at the Capitol, this time not only fighting for fentanyl strips, which of course test to see if a drug has fentanyl in it, but she's also fighting because Tucker's Law, which was named after her son, was never funded. So it was passed, but there wasn't set aside a dedicated amount of money to actually get the curriculum going in these public schools. So when it passed, the public schools are saying, okay, we have to do this, we have to implement it. And it was chaotic. They didn't know exactly how they were going to get this or how they were going to get that. So now she's asking lawmakers, since you passed Tucker's Law with so much enthusiasm, she was right next to the governor and other lawmakers and families behind her when he signed it into law. If you can sign that with so much enthusiasm, then give me the money that we need to make sure that fentanyl education is indeed being funded in our public schools.
And for fentanyl education to be in public schools, what are the requirements that these schools need to meet or that the administrators need to follow?
Yeah, they have to meet these certain requirements as far as what are they tackling as the subject continues. Is it one pill can kill, which is probably one of the broadest subjects that they'll tackle. It's broad range of discussion. It's talked about as young as in elementary school all the way up to high school. So there are certain guidelines, yes, that public schools have to follow, and those guidelines should become even more clear once they find out that there is hopefully funding as lawmakers consider funding Tucker's bill.
That's awesome. It seems like in all of the stories that you've covered, these children or these kids don't know that that is what they are taking.
Yeah, I think that's what struck me the most, just being a mom of two teenagers. Cal was home from the school. He was taking what he thought was an anxiety pill because they searched his phone and that's what he was looking for. Tucker as well, and some of the other parents that I've met, they all said their kid or child, as you mentioned, was taking a pill that was Percocet, that was oxycodone, or that was something else for anxiety, which is wrong, right? Because they said all of it is wrong, especially if it's not prescribed to you. But they were seeking that. What they were not seeking was a pill that would kill them. They weren't trying to die, as you heard the Epsteins try to say. These were pills that are laced with fentanyl, illicit fentanyl, which is being made in China and making its way across the borders and brought here into the hands of the drug dealers who are selling them. Many of the families will tell you, on social media. So on social media, you can meet your drug dealer, get that drug that you think is what you ordered, and it kills you.
And have you spoken with any lawmakers or any law enforcement, and what have they said to you?
Law enforcement, I think the biggest thing they tell me is they cannot arrest their way out of fentanyl. So yes, there are laws that will put fentanyl dealers, once caught, behind bars for a very long time, but they can't arrest their way out of what is a crisis. And so law enforcement tell me what they want to see, and I talk to agents at the Drug Enforcement Administration, what they want to see is they want to see more education when it comes to fentanyl at the school level. That is where they say it starts, when you could teach kids, young people, that this is still happening and that it is circulating around them. Then that is when you'll be able to see, hopefully, these numbers come down. And that's what the parents that you see in our special are trying to do or already did.
For those of our viewers that maybe have just joined, can you talk to us a little bit about those numbers that you learned while covering all these stories?
Yes, so fentanyl is an extremely dangerous drug. It's given to people who are in the most pain, patients at a hospital. It's not given in a pill, but what happens now is that pills are being pressed in certain parts of China, making its way across the border. And these are pills that look like hydrocodone, Percocet, other kind of pills, but they are laced with fentanyl. And you even had video that we showed of fentanyl, how little it took just for these pills to kill. It is a tiny amount. I'm talking grains of salt. If they lace that pill with fentanyl and you don't know you're getting it, the possibility of you dying are extremely high.
A lot of these parents that experienced the loss of their child felt that inspiration to, like we've been talking about, spread awareness, bring more education, and start groups that help. I heard one about opening the conversation around the drug and the crisis. What was that organization about?
So when we did the first special on fentanyl, we talked, of course, to parents who had lost their kids from that illicit drug, one down the road over in Hays County, which Hays County had a string of students who died from fentanyl not too long ago. Our focus during that special was to educate parents that this is happening, this is deadly, and to talk to their kids about it. This special is about sources of success and how to get this drug stopped and ways that parents are doing it. So the group that you're talking about is we brought all those parents together from the first special and the second special. And we brought them together in a group because they are part of a family, as they say in the special that you'll soon see, that they did not want to be a part of. But they gather strength from each other. And now they can kind of huddle together and figure out, okay, that's what you're facing at the legislature. Here's what I do. This is what you're facing here. This is what I did. And together, that number becomes powerful.
Wow, that's amazing that all these parents are coming together to fight one fight for all other parents that are experiencing the same thing. Exactly. We keep talking about this special. When are we going to see this special? Where can we see it? And who's a part of it?
Okay. This special has the Epsteins that you saw. It also has another family in California that also worked to change laws. So 2 families that have worked to change laws. Stefanie Roe's story is in there. But also what I think is really powerful about the second special is we go actually to a school in Portland, Oregon, that is teaching these kids about fentanyl education. And so you'll see how they talk to children about it and to teenagers. And then we talk to teenagers to see if they actually grab a hold of that concept. So it's going to air this Sunday at 6 o'clock.
And we can find that on our website, KXAN.com, as well as on our newscast on Sunday, right?
Correct, yes.
We also have your article on Stefanie Roe and her son that I did want to share. It's already on our website. You can find it on our homepage. It's titled, "I Will Not Stop, Texas Mom Who Lost Son Fights for Fentanyl Education." What are some of the things that are in this story that we didn't get to touch on today?
Stefanie really wants you to know that her story, yes, is emotional, as she said it time and time again during the last legislative session to get it passed. She's not happy that it was passed and that it was not funded. So in a way, she says she feels a bit used to get the legislation passed. So she wants people to go beyond that emotional story and put some grit behind it.
And that fight is still going on today, right?
It is still going on today. She is testifying for more money to be put aside for fentanyl strips. That's something she believes in, testing strips, and then also put aside to fund Tucker's project.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this very important topic and for covering it for all of the parents out there, not only in Texas, but all across the world who are fighting this battle as well. I do want to remind everyone that this special will be aired on Sunday, but you can also see it on our app, KXAN app. We have our KXAN Plus app on all streaming platforms, as well as here on Facebook or on our website. You can catch all of the information there and visit our website, kxan.com, to find this story on Stefanie and her son. It's on our homepage. Thank you so much for joining us, Sally.
Thank you, Esmeralda.